over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. We'll get to the promised land. We'll get to the promised land.
Romans killing riotous groups that are rising up.
As I turned around quickly, and the next thing I saw was Malcolm falling back in a dead faint.
Killing any potential threat, any potential messiah.
Dr. King left his room, 306, at the Lorraine Hotel just before dinner to get some air. He walked over to the railing at this spot, and noticing some friends below, he leaned over and began to speak with them. Police say 205 feet away, in a window in a flop house, the assassin waited.
Killing any potential threat, any potential messiah.
And Rob, some call that deadly raid the massacre on Monroe Street. Black Panther leaders Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were killed. Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were killed. Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were killed.
Brothers and sisters, they are there. We are not lost. We are scattered. We are original Hebrew.
Let's go! All praises be to the Most High God. Yeah, I say it.
I was opportune to meet my grandparents, whom from childhood had always made us to understand that we are one of the lost tribes of Israel. Okay. So from my grandmother.
Right? Now look at these. Yeah, I'm telling you, I gotta show y'all. A picture speaks 1,000 words. Just look for yourself. And this is the creme de la creme. All praises be to the Most High, y'all. Everything we've been through, y'all, the Most High is going to retribute it on all the nations that have had a hand in the oppression of his apple, the apple of his eye, his chosen people, his beloved, his fervent lover, his only begotten. They're going to have their part in the lake of fire. You see them tormented by some kind of creature. I don't even know what that even is, y'all. Judgment in chains. He that led into captivity shall go into captivity. All praise to the Most High, Yah. It said, thou that dwells in the clefts of the rock. Whoa, I know a lot of y'all know about the Caucasus Mountains. Let's just let the words speak. Let's go to verse 4. Though you exalt yourself as the eagle, and though you set thy nest among the stars. And ethnicity is a cult. What's up, Science Dynasty? This is your favorite dreaded Israelite, the man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. JB Zion. I'm back, y'all. I'm back in the flesh. It's been a lot. I got to talk about all of it. I got some announcements. I'm back in this thing, about to hit y'all with another all glory, honor, dominion, power, majesty, world without end to the mighty one of Jacob, Yahweh, the restorer of the 12 tribes of Israel, the redeemer of Jacob, the resurrector of the dry bones of Ezekiel. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. And not just that, first I gotta say peace, love, blessings, and Israelite power to all the kings and queens on this channel, all my Israelite brothers and sisters. Without y'all, and y'all, I gotta tell y'all, a lot of y'all been reaching out, emailing and all that good stuff, just checking up on us, making sure that me and Chani D are good. A lot of y'all have been reaching out, and I could not thank y'all enough. Thanks wouldn't even be the right word, because it's been a lot going on, and I'm gonna talk about that stuff with the lesson today. Because we're gonna go in, as y'all saw in the title and the thumbnail, we're gonna be dealing with the SPLC. It hits home for me personally and me and Shawnee D because we're here in Alabama, we're here in Montgomery, so it's based here, right? And we're gonna talk about this whole concept of hate speech, hate group, a cult, and ethnicity is a cult. All of that, just so I can kind of shed light on what I've personally been going through and personally been experiencing on this walk, and to encourage y'all. There is a lot of different people that watch this channel of different age groups. I think the largest age group is our elders, Double honor to every elder, every king, every chieftain, every queen, every big high mother, right, of the community that tunes in. But not just y'all, there is a lot of younger people. I'm talking about 15, 16. I've seen comments of like 18. I'm like, wow. And I would not be doing y'all a good service if I didn't let you know of the spiritual aspect of when you find out you're an Israelite, the type of stuff that you go through, y'all. I've been experiencing this. It's ramped up since the channel. And a lot of that, y'all, I've been trying to just figure out, man, why am I catching so much hell? A lot of people finding out about the channel, and y'all, I'm a transparent dude. The way y'all see me on here is usually how I am, so I'll tell anybody about anything I believe and that kind of thing. And I found out that Satan, I'm telling y'all, Satan is real, y'all. A lot of us think that when we come into finding out we're Israel, that it's just a natural lineage. But there is a spiritual component of opposition, a whole spiritual warfare that you enter in just defending y'all's people. It is unbelievable, y'all. I've been in ministry since 15, 16, and I've not seen such opposition. Now, granted, I was in their confines in the bubble of, you know, white Jesus and all that foolishness. But when I found out the history of our people, starting with the prophecy of Deuteronomy 28, that we are linked, in fact, the so-called black, two continents slapped together like a lonely sandwich, that we are in fact descendants of the biblical Israelites, and that you can prove it. The West African tribes, the Sub-Saharan tribes, the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Ashanti, the Limba. When I started finding out that you can actually prove the Bible prophecies through the archaeology, 23andMe, Harvard sources like Dr. Tudor Parfit, Oxford like Edith Bruder, the Black Jews of Africa. When you look at the White House memorandum about the Igbo Jews, when you look at the old atlas, the English atlas that had the slave map that mapped out all the Jews in Africa, when you look at all this scholarship, family, when you look at the Library of Congress about the slave that came to the Americas, if you look at the Library of Congress, family, in the Houston Daily Post, I'm gonna try to let you guys see this. It talks about a Negro who could read and write Hebrew. Now it says he is deaf and dumb and comes from an African town in Hartford, Connecticut, September 19. A young African Negro has been in this city for the last few days who claims to be a Hebrew. He is deaf and dumb, was deaf and dumb, but could write Hebrew. Y'all, there is so much scholarship that proves that that Bible is the irrefutable word of the Most High Yah. So when you find that information out and you start to turn back to Torah, when you start keeping Peshat, when you start going natural, eating better, loving your people, trying to build up your community, there is an agenda. There is a spiritual hierarchy that you encounter like never seen before, and we're gonna deal with it on this video. But not just that, I gotta say peace, love, and blessings to all the sojourners of Zion. We could not do this without y'all. Your faith does not go without being noticed. I gotta tell y'all, because a lot of us just know about our people putting our necks on the chopping block for this truth, but it takes a lot of spiritual fortitude to forsake your privilege, to lay down your life, to lay down that you could just be a white person just benefiting off of our people being at the bottom, but you sacrifice that, right, to be able to build up y'all's people. That is true love. You are laying down your life in the same manner that Yahushua laid down his life in hopes to rebuild his people. So y'all, we're gonna deal with all this stuff, this SPLC stuff. I do have some announcements with that Sefer. I've been going through and tallying still. Y'all keep commenting about that. Also, shout out to all those that sent the P.O. Box. I want to do it, depending on what you guys want. Some people might not want me to actually shout their names out, but I could do some readings on the channel where I go through some of these beloved cards that y'all have sent us that motivate us. Y'all have sown into the ministry. Y'all have sent letters of just how much this ministry has touched you all in terms of us being the people and turning us back to our heritage. And I could do a reading of some of those letters because some of them are just so beautiful and heartfelt. Me and Shawnee D talked about doing that. So y'all comment if y'all would be all right with that. I don't want to just start naming people. I can keep it anonymous and read this stuff. But y'all's love is what keeps us motivated. But I ain't gonna keep the intro too long. But y'all comment about that Sefer. I'm gonna put that cash up if y'all want to sow into the ministry. Also, if y'all want me to do some reading on some of these love cards that y'all been sending, some of these emails, shout out to Queen Esther. She's been reaching out. A lot of y'all, Don Davis, a lot of people have been reaching out. just checking on us, making sure we're all right. And y'all's love, I cannot thank y'all enough for that stuff because it keeps us motivated. There is a lot of spiritual resistance that goes into this. So y'all, we're going to jump right into it because I know my intros can be kind of long. We're going to go into the Splc, talking about Hebrew Israelites as a what did they call it? Doggone hate group, right? Now, the Splc is the Southern Poverty Law Center. They're basically the organization that determines what is anti-gay, anti-LGBT, what is deemed a hate group and that kind of thing based on the fundamental beliefs of these different organizations. They have the KKK, they have all different types of groups that they have are organized on their website. Y'all can check that out where they go into hate groups and that kind of thing. But we're gonna look at what they say about black Hebrew Israelites, and I'm gonna go into the spirit that a lot of our people have, this spirit of just, it's the spirit of Uncle Ruckus, really.
Well, you know, Israel done away with, you know, whosoever will, let them come.
Hey, yo, y'all Israel now. Oh, y'all black folks, so y'all Jews, we was kings. Oh, y'all think y'all is Jews, now you Jewish.
And legalism and, yeah, these Israelites trying to turn us back to the law of Moses. And yeah, neither Jew nor Greek, well, without it, that don't matter. Just talking about whosoever will call upon the name of Christ will be saved. For God so loved the world. Well, JP, we ain't saying he didn't came, we just saying he was rainbow. He came for all colors. Don't nobody really know what he looked like.
They saying, well, you can't use Deuteronomy 28.
Even though it says we're gonna go into a country as swift as the eagle flies.
Oh no, you can't use that.
Even though it says we're gonna have a yoke of iron around our neck, you can't use that. That's been fulfilled. Even though it says you're gonna go into slavery again on slave cargo ships, oh, that's already been fulfilled. And I'm like, Negro. It's the spirit of a lot of our people, and it is so detailed where our people, and I've been going through this a lot lately, y'all, where they will attack you and think they're doing God's will. That is the most dangerous thing that you could encounter on this walk. It would almost be better if they never knew the word than to think that they know it based on the precepts of men. Y'all got to understand that. And y'all, I've seen that as doing this work, I catch hell in a way that I'm gonna detail. I'm gonna explain to y'all the different types of Negroes that will come against you, all right? We already know about the Judas spirit, the Judas of one that'll keep you real close and sell you out to the Roman white folks, right? But we don't know the different levels to that thing. You got a Thomas that might be doubting the whole time until he sees you get crucified and sees the holes in your wrist, right? And you also have the Peter that is in your innermost circle that the Most High is gonna actually use to help you. But Peter even denied Christ 3 times, and you see Peter try to talk Christ out of his walk. Now, y'all, I know a lot of y'all are like, well, y'all question the New Testament and that kind of thing. I gotta let y'all understand, when you look at the life of Yahusha, there is no greater life blueprint to show our people what we should strive for than through the person of Yeshua. Y'all got to understand what I'm saying. Everything that he went through, the servant is not above the master. Everything that we go through on this walk, Yeshua already went through it, and he got that matching hat and the t-shirt and the honey bun and everything, right? He's gone through it. So when we go through oppression, when we have people attack us and call us crazy, call us a hate group, all of this is by design, because the servant has to go through, it's like a rite of passage, has to go through what the master went through. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the screen for you guys, and we're gonna go through this Splc article about Hebrew Israelites, and understand these are a lot of well-intended Christians. Some of them might be our own people, other Israelites that don't know they're Israel, right? And they really think they're doing the God of the scriptures job, are doing his work, right? By coming against, man, they're saying that God only loves one group of people, and they don't understand the wisdom of the earth being separated by families. A lot of our people have this Babylonian Tower of Babel, God loves everybody, and they think that this adds glory to the Creator, when he is the one that separated the animals. He's the one that created all the trees and said not to eat of this one, to know the difference between the holy and the unholy. This comes from the Creator. But because a lot of our people have been taught their knowledge of God through the precepts of man, they think that they're serving the true and living God by saying, well, y'all can't be just talking about just for Israel. So they'll end up coming against Israelites and say, yeah, they don't need to be saying that stuff. Yeah, we're gonna try to sabotage them. Yeah, we're gonna try to wear them down. Yeah, we're gonna try to stop him from getting that message out. And they think they're doing the right will. Now let me go ahead and put this up for you guys. So now as we see, let me pull this up. As you guys can probably see, yeah, here it is. The Splc Southern Poverty Law Center. Now this is talking about different hate groups, and you guys can go through their mission statement and all this stuff. When I found out, y'all, that they are actually in doggone Montgomery, it blew my mind, y'all. So when we look at this, it says radical Hebrew Israelites, which is interesting because maybe they're saying that they're non-radical Hebrew Israelites. I don't know, but we're gonna read it. So it says, since the late 1960s, the radical Hebrew Israelites, I guess they call the whole group that, ideology splintered to form increasingly anti-Semitic, anti-white, anti-LGBTQ, xenophobic, and misogynistic sect of groups who preach that they and only they are the true Israelites of the Bible and perpetuate the anti-Semitic belief that the so-called, now they say perpetuate, that means that a lot of people know about them ish people and their monopoly on the banks and that kind of thing. They perpetuate their anti-Semitic belief that so-called Jews have stolen their identity. That means other people believe this too. And birthright. Now, disclaimer. Splc uses the term radical Hebrew Israelite to differentiate from the greater Hebrew Israelite faith. Okay, that ain't too bad, y'all. So basically they're saying that there are some more radical groups and there are some that are not. Now this is dangerous because it causes our people, let me talk about this. It's dangerous because it causes our people to have beef against the camps. Y'all got to watch this stuff now. White folks are clever. They will have so-called moderates, like they would group probably me, Teo, Minister Dante, they would call more moderate. We got the DNA, and we try to reconcile the Gentiles by saying those that sojourn with Zion, those that are not coming against y'all's people, that they can cleave like Rahab the harlot or the Syrophoenician woman. So they would call us moderates because we're not as radical, I guess. The danger of this, y'all, is I'm not about that. I'm not about our people being divided. A lot of people say, you know, that's camp theology. You know, them camps. Them camps are doing the work of the Most High. Y'all gotta hear me. They're like the prophets. They're on the streets. They're crying aloud. Judgment to Babylon. Babylon must burn. The Most High God is gonna rain down thermonuclear fire. Everything that they're saying is facts. Y'all gotta hear me. So when you come against that and say, well, the camps versus us that are, you're doing the white people's bidding. You're doing Esau's work by dividing y'all's people. So now we're bickering and not bringing our collective strengths together to be able to be a nation, because the Most High dwells in unity. It's like the oil that flows down Aaron's beard, right? The Most High's power is able to touch all of his people when we are on one accord. When we are divided, that's the beginning of destruction. We see this with Israel. When the northern kingdom split from the southern kingdom, that's when Assyria came and conquered one group. We are stronger together, family. So we cannot let our individual doctrinal differences separate us from the common good work of all of Israel coming together. That was the heartbeat of Mashiach. That was the heartbeat of Paul. That was the heartbeat of Peter. For the Hellenized, those that are still living like the other nations, and Israel that are deep off in Torah, we gotta come together. Likewise, the camps that might have stuff that you don't agree with, like the 12 tribes chart. I believe that all of the original tribes of Israel were Negro, but what they're saying is Negroes went all kinds of places. So we're allowing little minor discrepancies to divide our people, and that's what the SPLC is doing by saying, well, you know, there are some good Hebrew Israelites, and then there are these radical camps. Those camps are speaking the truth like the pointer finger, the prophet, right? You got the fivefold, you got the apostle, prophet, evangelist, outreach, the covenant pastor, and you have the teacher, right? You have different gifts, but they're the same hand of the Most High doing the work. Just because they're on the street, that doesn't mean that you might need to be on the street, but everybody has a different gift. So don't allow the nations to divide our people. That's how that spirit of Uncle Ruckus exists. A white person to take a susceptible coon and get them to do their bidding against our people. From a spiritual standpoint, that's because we have the blessing on our life. This stuff gets real deep. So Satan using us actually gives him the right to attack Israel. When you look at the history of our people, Malcolm X, other Negroes assassinated him. Dr. King, other Negroes set him up. When you look at the power that has been able to bring our people down, it has not been white people, it's been each other, because we don't come together. And so let's keep reading. I can go on a rant on that, y'all. So when you look, it says that there is a greater Hebrew Israelite faith that's separate from these camps. Hebrew Israelites should not be confused with black Jews or Jewish individuals of color. Wait a second. Aren't they the same thing? Hebrew Israelites, all they're teaching is that there are black Jews. These are the ones that went into the transatlantic slave trade of the 1619 period, right? These were the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Ashanti, that they were the tribes that were targeted because they were refugees. Now, y'all look at some of those videos on Are We Moors and those Moor videos that go into this history of the Sephardic Israelites migrating deeper and settling on the Gold Coast of West Africa. Now, so right here, they're trying to divide again. So they're trying to divide the camps from other moderate Hebrew Israelites. Then they're trying to separate Hebrew Israelites from black Jews or any Israelites of dark pigmentation. Now, we know that the original Israelites, all of them were black, and those that preserved this went deeper into Africa. So there is no difference between Hebrew Israelites and black Jews or Jewish individuals of color. Now, the SPLC no longer refers to these groups as solely black Hebrew Israelites, as there are Latin and indigenous members of these groups. Now, this goes into that Moorish history as well, family. That now y'all check out that treaty on Morocco and America. It gets very deep, and I'm gonna do some follow-ups on that. But basically, there were Moors in the Americas, and these Moors were Ephraimite or Israelite Northern Kingdom tribes that had already been in the Americas. During the fall of the Moorish Empire, they had already went to the Americas. This is where you get the Choctaw Indians, the Chickasaw, the Creek, and the Cherokee. Those predominant tribes are the ones most linked to our people and linked to Negro blood. Now, I can do a whole nother lesson on that. So, and there are non-radical sects of the Hebrew Israelite faith who identify as Hebrew Israelites. Now, y'all, this stuff is crazy how they're trying to just divide and conquer, right? They're trying to get us to think that, you know, the radical camps versus the moderates. All of us believe that America, NATO, the fourth beast of Daniel, all of us believe that they are going to be judged. The whore of Babylon, America leading the way as Esau is that end time, last ruling empire. All of them believe that, but at the same time, some of them take different approaches, but white people are trying to divide our people up and have us beefing. And then I didn't just read the first paragraph and you see this. Now, the continued struggle of black, indigenous, and people of color in America can find clear similarities in the narrative of Judaism. Interesting. Now, this is where people deny the prophetic word of the Bible. They think that that's just a happenstance that, you know, particularly the book of Exodus, where it looks like Israel was in slavery for 400 years, that that's just what's the word I'm looking for? That's just a happenstance, or that's just a coincidence, right? So persecution, displacement, and enslavement mirror the BIPOC experience in many ways, both historically and systematically here in America. Interesting. They say both historically and still systematically, what Israel went through looks a lot like so-called African Americans and what they're going through. So for most of the Hebrew Israelite community, the similarity is a source of empowerment and not a cause for condemnation. So our people use the very tool of our damnation to prove, in fact, the love that the Father has for his people. That yes, the curses seem bitter, but it's actually sweet because it heals you. It restores you, right? It brings wholeness and clarity to why our people are going through what they're going through. And that's called a hate group. That's called an extremist group for black people trying to rally their community, unite their community, and show the love of the Creator for our people, that he has not forgot us, that we are being oppressed because we are his special family. Now, you got to watch, white folks. They still label this a hate group because all we're saying is God loves his people. Let's keep reading. For radical Hebrew Israelite groups, however, the similarities are used as the foundation for their anti-Shemitic beliefs.
So they're saying that they go further. They try to condemn other people because of this, specifically those Jewish people, because they can't prove they're the people. We're just asking them to prove based on history, based on DNA, that they're not linked to the Khazars of Russia. I just got to tell y'all, right? Our people have oral tradition. We have DNA, Natufian DNA found in Harvard that links us to these people. Now, radical Hebrew Israelites appropriate, they're saying we just robbed the Hebrew scriptures, appropriate biblical Jewish heritage to claim an exclusive identity as the true chosen people of God and decry Jews as the imposters and thieves. Now, these groups seek a divine form of dominance rather than equity by declaring superiority over all nations. Did we make that up? Now, I'm going to put Deuteronomy 7 verse 6 on the screen so y'all can see it. But basically, we see where the scriptures themselves say that Israel is destined to be set above all nations. Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. And Deuteronomy 14 says it. Deuteronomy 28 verses 1 through 2. All declare that Israel was meant to be the Amazon warehouse through which the knowledge of the Creator is given to all people. This is not hate speech for us to say that our people need to be the priority. Now, let me go deeper with that. The Bible says the member that is with the least honor is really due the most honor. And it's amazing how the Most High has used these principles of the first shall be last and the last shall be first. For many are called, but few are chosen. So the Most High allowed Israel, the chosen people, to go through the curses and be placed on the bottom just to justify exalting our people. A lot of white folks are hip to this, and they're trying to fight this because they know if they really gave us the reparations that we deserve, it would set us above as a superpower above all nations. Now you see how clever they are. Now they're really fighting God because they don't want to do right by our people because they fear the implications that it will bankrupt America, bankrupt NATO. But this was the plan of the Most High from the beginning. And if the Most High has to bring that judgment, it ain't going to be pretty. And we already know they're not going to repent just like Pharaoh did it. So now you see how our people are playing, and these nations attacking us are playing right into the hand of the Most High. Now, and strict adherence to biblical literalism to legitimize their ideology. They're saying that we need to keep the commandments. Everything the Most High said about judging the nations is literal. This is actual people. They spread their beliefs through street preaching, often verbally harassing. Yeah, they're harassing us. They don't come up to folks. They stand in one spot and preach this truth. If it offends people, keep walking. You know what I'm saying? Provoking and shaming any non-Israelite and those of their own community who don't follow their beliefs. This can be harmful to the LGBTQ people of color. Now, y'all, we got to deal with this. This whole LGBTQ thing. Any proponent of human life has to see the fundamental error of that foolishness. The Bible says in Romans 1 that it goes against nature. It goes against the procreation of the human race. And it don't take no rocket science to say that. So our people that are trying to love our community and promote an idea of Torah, a lifestyle of Torah that builds up the entire earth and promotes the order that the Most High set up, y'all. Y'all gotta understand. Y'all gotta understand, our people are just trying to promote a lifestyle that's productive to the human race, starting with one family at a time, starting with our community, being the light that lives Torah as an example for other people. Now, they say that what we say is harmful to LGBT people of color within their communities, especially. So they're trying to divide. Now they're trying to take our brothers and sisters that are confused, that are lost in this kind of lifestyle, and turn them against their people. All of this, they're saying we're the hate group, right? But their tactic is to divide our people. They are actually promoting hate. We are saying our people need to live better. Our people need to turn away from these bad lifestyles that destroy themselves, that create diseases, right? We know that HIV/AIDS was started by homosexual activity. This is a known fact. We're trying to clean our community up. We're trying to promote the husbands in the house with their wives. We're trying to promote black men marrying black women. We're trying to promote our people having self-esteem through the history. We're trying to promote that our people have a culture to be proud of, to stop shooting each other on the streets. But we're the hate group, right? when what they're trying to do is divide us against every strand of each other by saying, well, there's camps versus the other Hebrew Israelites. And then there's Hebrew Israelites different from black Jews that we know about in Africa. It's divide and conquer. And then they're trying to divide with the gaze of black people. You notice that they said they're trying to be harmful to LGBT people of color within their community. So they're trying to turn our community against each other, right? Radical Hebrew Israelites have a definitive abhorrence of relationships between Israelites, I called it, y'all, and Caucasian people as they relate to them being the devil. The Most High says, trust in the stock of your own people. During the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, they put to death all those kids that came from interracial marriage. We look at King Solomon when he started sleeping with the strange women, that his heart turned away from his people. Now, to all my brothers and sisters that have done this, I'm not condemning y'all, but going forward, we can't do this. Now, a lot of Israelites will be more strict on it, but a lot of y'all have done this already. So now you're caught between this situation that you got to let the Most High lead you in that situation. Because a lot of you, and I'm speaking to the Israelite men, you're leading your family. So you have the authority to be able to turn them back to Torah. Now to the Israelite queens that have to submit to their husband as the leadership, you get into a touchy situation. Because now you can't really enforce your will because you're not in biblical order being married to a Caucasian man. So now his worldview of his people is actually leading the foundation of your home. So y'all, this is why the Most High told us not to do this stuff, because it makes us hard for us to really love our people and commit to our community when we're mixed in our bedroom, right? When your first business action, your first unification action is with another race, it's hard for you to be as pro-black or pro-Israelite as a person that is married to an Israelite queen or Israelite king. Now that's a whole nother thing. Somebody asked me to do a video on that, and I'm gonna do a video on how you go about when you're married to another Israelite. But you see why the Most High told us not to do this stuff, family, and now we got to clean a lot of this stuff up. Now, not only does this ideology further marginalize members of their communities, but it also parallels toxic power structures that are common on the far right. They're talking about husbands leading. Now, y'all see how they're connecting this stuff in a spiritual way, just like I connected a Israelite queen being married to an Esau king, I guess you can call him that, right, of this world, right, and how it keeps the proper order of the home from being able to operate, right? Because when you're not submitted to an Israelite king that's leading his family, all of this goes back to the order. The husband being of the wife, and the wife leading the children, right? So now let's keep looking. These anti-Shemitic beliefs influence the mainstream as well. In a 2020 episode of actor and comedian Nick Cannon's podcast, Cannon's Class, he talked about this. Now, y'all, I did a video on that earlier, and his guest, Professor Griff, laid out the theory that black people are the true Shemitic people. We can't be anti-Shemitic because we're linked to the true Israelites. Cannon claimed the Jews, have taken our birthright. Now, this is spiritual. This goes into Joseph, really, but that's a whole nother thing, y'all. But the Ish people have taken our identity, and their divine mandate of getting that land in 1948 has all been under the guise of our history. Now, although neither Cannon nor Griff are known to be members of any radical Hebrew Israelite group, they're talking about the camps, this idea is at the core of radical Hebrew Israelites' beliefs. So they're trying to divide Nick Cannon from camp theology. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, don't play into Esau's hand. Now, y'all, I might have to do a part 2 on this thing because I'm kind of running out of time a little bit. So I actually got to run into work, y'all. But I'm going to do a part 2 on this and do a follow-up because there's a lot that they break down. Y'all, this is a spirit. A lot of our people are engaged in this spirit and they think they're doing the Creator's will. He's the one that chose Israel. We didn't. Every book of the Bible was written by Israel. Understand, Christ was an Israelite. So the nations have to submit to Israel one way or another. Y'all got to understand that what they think they're believing through the Christian church is deception. You think Israel's done away with the church? That's not Bible. And it's mighty strange that black people are the true Israelites, and now there's already a theology set up to say that doesn't matter. Hence, black people are killing each other, because if their history doesn't matter, or if Israelite history doesn't matter, our history is the one that's being done away with. That's why our people are in the condition they are in today, because doing away with Israelite history does away with black history, which keeps our self-esteem being low, keeps us going into interracial marriage, keeps us shooting each other on the streets, keeps us coming against our own people that are trying to build the community because we think it's an anti-God act. This is how all these dominoes line up. This is the Willie Lynch letter. This is the Council of Nicaea. This is COINTELPRO. All of this is the Antichrist system trying to anti the historical Yeshua and his people. So y'all, I'm going to do a follow-up to this on the SPLC. Y'all get on that website and read the rest of this article. I'm going to do a piggyback on this because they go into a lot of detail on where Hebrew Israelites come from, quote unquote. But I hope y'all got something out of this. Stay strong, Zion. I've been seeing a lot of this attack lately, and I want to share more with you guys. I got to get caught up on a lot of things, y'all. But I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for just supporting this work, keeping us encouraged. This word has to go forth. So y'all, I love you all with the love of the Messiah. Peace, love, blessings, and Israelite power. I love you all with the love of the Messiah. Shalom. All praises.